Welcome back to Living Local. Around 48 million Americans have hearing loss, and research shows that this issue can trigger other major health problems like depression, dementia, and even heart disease. Making sure hearing health is a priority can help us improve the outlook for our mental, physical, and emotional well-being. Joining us in studio to tell us more about this today is Michael L. Rausch. He is with Advanced Hearing Aid Service. Michael, thank you so much for being here.
Good morning.
So what are the most common symptoms of hearing loss?
Well, the first thing we want to do is start with the severe symptoms. If you have a sudden change in your hearing, pain or discomfort in your ears, drainage or discharge, acute dizziness, or changes in your tinnitus, you want to go see the doctor right away. And I don't mean tomorrow, I mean right away. But the things that we deal with are gradual in nature. My favorite thing to say is we don't run the 100-yard dash as fast as we used to, and we don't hear as well as we used to. So we're looking for gradual changes over time. A good way to gauge that, there are two good ways to gauge it. My favorite is just get your hearing tested. But secondly, if friends or neighbors are telling you you're not hearing as well, you're having trouble in crowds and such, why it's time to think about doing something.
Great advice. How often should we be getting our hearing checked?
Well, kids are screened when they're in school, and then unless you notice any problems, we recommend everybody over age 50 have a hearing test.
Definitely. Now, what causes hearing loss?
Well, there are a lot of causes, and without going through the complete list, the main causes are age and noise exposure. Then you have drug reactions and all sorts of other things. Heredity is a big factor.
So aging is something obviously we cannot control. That's going to happen to all of us, but you know, our exposure to loud noises and such, that is something that we can be proactive about.
We can try and just be aware. I mean, when we used to have hockey games here in town, and they'd brag about 110 decibels, my God, that's causing hearing loss for everybody in the building.
Right, so definitely be aware of what you can control there.
Yes.
What are the potential health impacts of hearing loss? Because it's not just about your hearing, it can kind of have a ripple effect.
Well, our brain is a magnificent thing, and the hearing is a big part of it. As we say in our business, the ears are the pathway to the heart, but it's also the pathway to the brain. So if we're not hearing properly, that part of the brain that's responsible for processing speech can get plaque, and it results in dementia, Alzheimer's, depression, social isolation, a whole bunch of stuff that's not good. Right.
Well, let's dive deeper into each of those other health issues that can come up. What does the research tell us about the link between untreated hearing loss and dementia? I was not aware of this.
Well, we don't know for sure, but the part of the brain that's not being used as extensively as it used to because it's not hearing properly turns its attention elsewhere. It gets flabby, is the way I like to describe it. And use it or lose it, we often hear in anything with your body, and same with your hearing. Untreated hearing loss has been statistically shown to be tied to dementia and Alzheimer's and the things I've already mentioned.
Right. Now, Mike, we are hearing all the time about stress management and how it's so important to manage our stress levels. How can hearing loss cause more stress in our lives?
Well, if you're worried about anything, your marriage or anything, and you're stressed, your body reacts differently than when it's nice and calm. And so dumping adrenaline in your system changes the way that your immune system works, and there are bad effects over time. Worried about your hearing is like being worried about anything else. You know, the stress of that can cause heart disease and a whole list of things.
Right. If you are chronically stressed, it can have a serious compound effect on your overall health. You mentioned briefly loneliness. How can hearing loss impact loneliness?
Well, if you're by yourself and cut off, then a wall kind of, say for example, we were talking and had a kind of a important thing to say, and I said, "What?"
Right.
You say, "Oh, never mind."
Yep.
You know, and then the wall grows, and then pretty soon we're cut off and we're lonely. We're stressed about being lonely. Our brain isn't working properly. All sorts of things snowball.
Definitely. Now, Mike, in addition to possible links between hearing loss and dementia, as well as stress and loneliness, there's also this factor of medical non-adherence. So, how can hearing loss affect that?
Well, this is very common. The doctors in the audience should all be aware that if someone comes in and talks to the doctor about what to do to keep healthy, and they don't hear, people are shy about asking, the doctor's in a hurry, and so if you don't hear your doctor's instructions, the statistics show this is very common. We don't take our medicines on time, or take too many, overdose, all sorts of bad things from just not understanding what the doctor said, and that's a major side effect that the statistics are showing everywhere. It's very common.
Right, a very serious issue there to be aware of. Now, we've kind of unpacked all the bad things that can happen as a result of hearing loss, so what can we do?
Well, what I like to start the conversation is better hearing is fun. It's fun to hear better. So there are a lot of things you can do, from the very basic thing of getting your hearing tested, but you can go to the CVS and buy a $20 personal amplifier system, or you can go to the top of the line best hearing aid you can buy, or a lot of things in between, and you can match the technology level, the comfort level with your level, and it's fun to hear better. I mean, it's just no fun to say, it's frustrating.
No, it is frustrating. It definitely isolates you from the world around you. So if someone goes to the doctor for their regular hearing checkup, and they notice that will the doctor recommend that they should get a hearing aid, or how does that work?
The problem is a regular checkup does not include a hearing test, and it should. And come see us, or a lot of places will get you a hearing test. But just get your hearing tested so you know there's nothing to be gained from living alone in the dark.
Right. So you guys do offer those hearing tests. If someone comes in and they do realize that they would benefit from getting a hearing aid, how does that process work then?
Well, some people don't like it, but we advertise and brag about free hearing tests. Just come see us and we'll give you a free test, and you'll know there's no, I sound like a hearing aid salesman now, which I am, but there's no cost or obligation, and then you know what's going on. And now, what was your original question?
Yeah, just so if they go in, they do the free hearing test that you offer, and then you guys determine that they would benefit from getting a hearing aid. How do they, what do their options look like, and how can that impact their life?
Well, the first thing we do is what I talked about earlier, is we screen them for things that need to be sent on, whether there's a surgery that can help, anything that should be done. That's so people worry about, we'll miss something. Well, we hopefully won't miss anything.
Right.
But then that sounds like a commercial again, but we guarantee all our work. So if you don't succeed with what we recommend, it doesn't cost you anything.
Fantastic.
So there's nothing to lose.
Well, what a great resource for people out there. Mike, thank you so much for being here and for all the advice.
I enjoyed it.
Awesome. Well, if you guys would like some more information, you can visit their Bettendorf or Moline locations, or you can call 563-355-3261 or 309-797-7160. We will have all these details posted on ourquadcities.com.